So I tried out home health and hospice as a side hustle. What do I think? How's it going, everybody? This is NWA here, Nurse Pat. Hope everyone is staying safe and healthy. So this year, around late April, I picked up a side gig as a home health and hospice nurse. I was still working my normal hospital job as a float pool RN, but with this job, I was working like super per diem. I was basically on call every other weekend. So basically the weekends that I wasn't working at the hospital, I was on call for this job. So I'm gonna briefly explain home health and hospice, the roles, and my experience as a nurse working. I'm gonna talk about the pros and cons so you can see what's going on. So my thoughts initially for home health and hospice was that it was gonna be a super easy and chill, flexible job. My parents own some care homes, so we have some residents that are patients for home health and hospice. So we'd see the nurses come through every now and then. They would literally just be in, do their thing, out super quick, and it seemed so easy. So there is a difference between home health and hospice. For home health, your goal is to treat and possibly cure a patient with whatever is going on. So with these patients, you're gonna be doing like wound care, infusion of the antibiotics, TPN, PT/OT management, stuff like that. You're basically gonna be coordinating the patient's care plans, their goals, interventions with the patient and the family, the doctors, the pharmacy, the DME, equipment suppliers, and all that stuff. You're going to be mainly visiting a patient in their house, in their care home, or an assisted living center. With hospice, you're treating them for comfort. This is palliative care. These are patients who are typically not expected to live more than 6 months. So you're not there to treat and cure their diseases or whatever's going on. You're just there to ensure their quality of life and be there as a support for them and their family. Like with home health, you're gonna be in touch with the doctors, patient family, facility staff, pharmacy, equipment suppliers, and all that stuff. So you're gonna see these type of patients in also their houses, care homes, and assisted living, but you're also gonna see these patients at SNFs, skilled nursing facilities. So what are the pros, the good things about working as a hospice and home health nurse? The main thing in my opinion is that it really is super chill and flexible compared to working at the hospital as a bedside nurse. At the hospital, you're gonna be juggling all these patients around and caring for them. What's nice about this job is you're focusing on one patient at a time. So the way this is flexible is that you're not working like a straight hour shift. You basically have your appointments with the patients, and it could be like throughout the day, and you could literally be done with what you got to do physically like really early. You could start at like 8 o'clock and be done by noontime with your visits or admissions. What I thought that was super cool is that you could chart and document on your own time anywhere you want. You could be at your house, you could be in your car, you could be at Starbucks, wherever, you know? Some of the documentation needs to be done the same day, but some you could do like a few days later. So you don't really need to do the brunt of it until later on if you're not available, because the documentation for home health and hospice, especially admissions, is extremely lengthy, and you'll get better at it, of course, but for me, the charting it for each patient for an admission, it took like, I want to say like around 2 hours. So it was pretty long, but something as simple as a visit, you could be done charting with a patient in like 10 to 15 minutes. And you are paid by the event, not per hour. So if you get things done super quick with the patient, technically, sometimes your hourly wage, if you were to calculate it, would be more than what you would be making at a hospital. So another pro is that you sort of get this case manager-like experience. You're not really doing as much direct patient care. You're literally directly with the patient for only like 30 minutes per visit, it seems. 30 to an hour at the most. Sometimes it could take up to an hour if there's wound care and other stuff you gotta do, of course. Oh man, so let's talk about the cons now.
Oh shit, here we go again.
This is gonna be juicy. So something that I didn't like was that sometimes you gotta drive super far and your assignments will be scattered. You're gonna be going back and forth and all that. I'd had many times where they had me drive to a patient that was more than an hour away. So I'd be driving like an hour 15 or so just to get to one patient. They do reimburse you for mileage, and it seems like that's a common thing with these type of jobs. However, for my car, I was only able to cover gas and some change. I mean, my car is not the best for this, I guess. My car takes premium gas and it's 19 city, 28 highway. So for this reimbursement, it seemed like it's, you know, roughly 2 times the amount of the gas I would need for these type of trips. But when you consider the actual time you're driving, it takes up a lot of your day. Another big con for me is some of these working environments that you'd be in. Some of these SNFs, skilled nursing facilities, are disgusting.
Bitch,
Matter of fact, maybe that's why they call them SNFs. Sniff, sniff. Ugh.
Do you smell it? That smell.
Y'all nasty as fuck. No offense to people that work at SNFs, of course. There are some like really nice bougie ones that are actually clean, and it surprised me. But there was this ghetto ass one that I went to. I won't name it, of course, but it was really bad. First of all, it was only street parking, so that was sus. I was in this like weird ass neighborhood area. When I first go inside, I see all these random patients slumped over in their wheelchair or doing whatever and stuff, not even being attended to or not even being watched, all up in the hallways and stuff. I look at the nursing desk and the chairs. It's like super dirty, old, stained, broken. I don't even see computers on these desks, so I don't even know how they be charting and shit. But they have like those gigantic patient binders that have like the patient's medications and their orders and stuff, so maybe they still do paper charting. And then when I came to assess the patient that I was admitting for hospice, it looked so bad. I came in the room and I see this patient in her bed. She's nonverbal and everything, you know, she's hospice. The bed was nasty as fuck. Like there's stains everywhere. I look at the curtains, patient curtains, they got stains on them. Assessing the patient is soil just sitting there shit. And I'm just like, what the fuck is this place, you know? I was like, man, I better not catch no C. diff from here. And then there was this other time for hospice, I came to this patient's house and it was hella sus. So I called him beforehand when I found parking and everything, letting him know that I'm coming through. He just told me that the door is unlocked and to come in. So I knock first, I walk inside, it's all dark everywhere, hella messy, and there's like 3 cats running around. I'm like, where the hell is the patient? The patient was nowhere to be found when I first walked in, and I'm just like knocking everywhere and just like calling out for his name, and I'm just like walking around. I finally see this area that goes down. It's like a downstairs basement or something, and I hear him say that he's there. It was like some scary movie type shit. So I come down there and he's chilling in this basement / garage type thing. It's just messy everywhere like the rest of his house. There's a knife on the table. There's this nasty ass urinal with old piss in it, I'm pretty sure. And he's just there smoking a cigar. I was like, man, where the fuck did this company send me to? Like they sent me to the gulag, bro. Like, what the fuck? So yeah, immediately this was a difficult and rude patient too, so it was not a good experience. Another con in my opinion, especially if you're a newer nurse, is that you don't get to practice your skills as much. You'll be able to do some things, of course, but in terms of direct patient care, you get the most experience being a hospital bedside nurse. So these are the pros and cons in my opinion. I hope I didn't scare y'all with any of those stories. I honestly do think it is a decent side gig if you're willing to put up with the driving and like possibly being at weird work environments. It is a nice change from being stressed and juggling around at the hospital with like multiple patients and dealing with all like the acute bullshit that happens there. I stopped working for him personally just because I wanted to have my weekends back, and I felt like I needed more time with my friends and family. Being with those that I care about really makes a difference in my work-life balance, and that is very important to me. So if all I was doing was work, then I would just be miserable. Some people like to be workaholics, but that's just not me. However, I do think this might be a job that some of you might want to consider, especially as something like a side gig. It's like chill and flexible. Or maybe you're just fed up with bedside nursing and you can't handle it no more. So would I do it again? Maybe. But at this time, not right now. So I hope you guys found this video helpful and insightful. Comment, like, subscribe if you're feeling the content. Check out my other videos if you haven't already. Check out my channel. I thank all of you for the support. As always, stay safe, stay humble. I'm out.